Why didn't he never bring up this in particular subject? When it comes down to guys winning
Yeah,
MVP
just hide it.
1990, it's only 3 guys that won the MVP that wasn't top 10 in scoring. Do you know who those 3 guys were?
Who were they?
Steve Nash, Jokic, and Dirk Nowitzki. Now, what do those guys have in common?
Their skin color.
That's such a bad argument.
That's a
Such
bad argument.
I'm about to say, like, seriously, like, this is what I'm talking about. Seriously,
Because
Nash,
scoring
Dirk.
has never.
No, it's not. But you didn't. Y'all. I know what y'all are probably thinking. I want to stop you before you even think about it.
Okay.
Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, Jokic.
Mhm.
They all played in the West. That's what they had in common. I know you were probably thinking race. It's not that. It was just they played in the West. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was about to say. Oh, I was about to say. I was about to say. Scoring has never been the only or even a majority determiner of who the MVP is going to be. And then it's such a cherry pick stat because he literally starts at 1990 when, like, the 4 years prior, Magic won it, not being top 20 in scoring 3 out of those 4 years. So the fact that he cherry picks this award to specifically start at 1990 is crazy.
I don't understand where are we finding racial bias at, and because that's the big thing I was hearing. There's racial bias. Where's the racial bias if majority of the people that have won since 1990 have been black? Like, are you saying there's in racial bias against black players? Is what?
Well, I'm guessing what he's saying though is that the bar is lower. Like the bar is lower when it comes to what like a white player needs to do. So right in 2000 and no, I was going to say 5, but in 2002, a white player may have not won or even got close, but that's because there might have not been one that was close enough to do it. But if there is a white player that is close, they'll get bumps because they are white, is what he's trying to say.
And I would believe that if there were facts to back that instead of just hearsay or he said, she said, and around it. Like, if you could tell me, and if you could tell me every time a non-black player or non-African descent player won an MVP, there was no white player or Caucasian looking player, non-black player, there was none of them like performing for real that was even close. Okay, cool. But if you don't got that research, that's a bad argument, bro. You can easily just look and find, if you could find a year where, and I'm just using an example, if you could find a year where Chris Mullins was an MVP candidate, and it's like, all right, Chris Mullins didn't win this year, but he could have easily got a boost, like y'all saying, and you could have added him to it, but he didn't get it. Why is that? Because he's Chris Mullins? He's not black. He's a white guy. Why didn't he get it? I understand Chris Mullins might not have got a chat. Please don't rip my head apart. I was using an example.
But they're saying that, you know, they get more consideration, not necessarily that they want it. And damn, I wanted to bring up this one from Bill Simmons. Cause fuck Bill Simmons. But I'm bring up Bill Simmons and I'm gonna bring up something my brother said. Here's the thing about MVP. There's still 20 to 25% of the season left. All the seeds are in play and a ton of shit can happen. Embiid could average 38-40 for 5 weeks. Giannis could go on a 38-15-8 freak streak, etc., etc. Freak streak is crazy. It's wide open. We need to pass out some of the settle down juice. Now, some people brought up the fact that maybe a couple years ago, maybe it was last year or the year before, a similar situation happened, and apparently Embiid was the like front runner in the MVP conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then Embiid did nothing differently in the second half of the season. But Jokic still won.
I think in the first half of the season, they were always neck and neck. So even if Embiid was in favor, the first half of the season, it wasn't by a crazy margin.
I would just have to see if Jokic have a crazy amount of improvement in the second half of the season that would have propelled him past Embiid is the question I would ask. And if the answer is no, then Hey,
think
racial bias, I guess.
I think what was impressive about the Jokic thing last year was, oh shit, he's still winning games. All right, well, there we go. Like he's still winning without MPJ and Murray. Like Souls just said on Souls and Sage, and like how I'm about to do whenever I go back and actually look at the shit. Everybody who wins the award, if you take it year by year, it makes sense. It never doesn't make sense. And that's where I'm like, if we're gonna go the racial bias card on a platform like First Take, the same way we are literally talking about like Mr. Beast doing good shit and giving him criticism, we have to criticize. All right, bro, you know what you're doing when you say what you say on live television. So when you're gonna say racial bias, that is implying that this dude has no shot of deserving the award. If you want to talk about 3-time MVPs, that's fine. But like, for example, in 07, Dirk got it. He wasn't top 10 in scoring. He averaged 25 basically, 9 and 4 on 50, 40, 90. That's an elite club in itself. The Mavericks won 67 games. That's an elite club itself. Kobe averaged 31. He was third place. Steve Nash was second. So maybe 07 was racist as fuck. And in 07,
but I think in 07 the Lakers missed the playoffs.
Yeah, they were 42 and 40. I think they were still doing divisions or some shit if they missed the playoffs, but they were 42 and 40. Tim Duncan was fourth. He averaged 20 and 10. He came in fourth under Kobe, so maybe, I don't know, racist towards. I don't even know how that works.
Ultimately, if you look historically, I think it's just winning bias. Winning and winning bias has more of a factor as to how and why the MVP voting has been the way that it is than it is about race, in my opinion. In the mid 2000s, when Dirk was leading those Mavs, when Nash was leading those Suns, they just happened to be two white players that were at the top of the hardest conference, arguably of all time, leading those teams. It's the same reason people say LeBron got robbed in 2011. It's because of winning bias. So,
join the Q&A, AB. Please join the Q&A. Please, you've been going crazy. Please.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think that there are inconsistencies and there are biases. There are biases. Even in the tweet that Bill Simmons just put out, he is leaning towards Jokic already. He's already leaning towards Jokic. In that tweet, he told us that the fact that Embiid has to do this, he could average 38 to 40 for 5 weeks, which is insane. Giannis could go on a 38 something freak streak is insane. You already having your mind wrapped up that Jokic has this award pretty sealed. And in order for anybody to crack that conversation to you, they would have to do something absurd. I think can we agree that averaging 38 to 40 for 5 weeks is crazy?
Oh, that's not what I got from that. I thought he was talking to the capabilities of Embiid and Giannis, like actually having the capabilities to.
I was interpreting it as they say that.
I thought of it as I thought of it as like don't just put out and just Giannis still has the ability to do this crazy thing. Embiid still has the time and the ability to do this crazy thing. Don't just say it's like
Jokic can stink it the fuck up.
But he didn't say that. But he didn't say that, right? Bill Simmons has 230,000 million right here with this blue check mark now. He doesn't have limited characters. Well, he has limited, but it's not. Here's the thing about MVP. There's still 20 to 25% of the season left. All the seeds are in play, and a ton of shit can happen. Yeah. Embiid could average 38 to 40 for 5 weeks. Again, can we agree that that's a crazy thing to do?
Yeah, I think it's a classic case of hyperbole, but yeah.
Giannis could go on a 38-15-8 freak streak. I don't know what freak streak means. Not quantifiable. It's pretty wide open. He's not saying what Jokic could do, should do, whatever, because he believes already that Giannis is his go-ahead for MVP. I don't listen to Bill's or Jokic. I'm sorry.
Is Jokic leading in the MVP ladder right now?
I don't know, but we're talking about. I don't care about the MVP ladder because I don't even think the person that makes the MVP ladder on on the NBA.com website has a vote. But I do know Bill Simmons has a vote. So what I'm saying is, based off of this statement here, by excluding Jokic, it lets me know you already have bias towards Jokic. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. It's just letting people know the mindset as to where you are. You already got the bias in.
Is it biased towards Jokic, or he just thinks he's leading at this moment, and this
right
is
now
what the other
Jokic
team
is
doing?
winning, but
Because I think for Embiid, he might be the. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Tell me what's the difference?
Me thinking someone is just in the lead at something doesn't necessarily mean that I'm biased towards that person.
Prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person or group. He's in favor of Jokic winning the MVP. Bias, and that's semantics, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
But it's still a race at the end of the day. So if you feel someone's winning the race mid-race, I don't think that's having a bias towards that person.
I'm about to say, if I see y'all run 400 meters and you're in the lead and they're in the behind, and I'm just saying, you never know what could happen. Omar could trip and fall.
That's not me being in favor of the person winning the race. That's me acknowledging this person's winning the race.
A race implies that there is like some measurable thing, X, Y, and Z, that makes you do it definably. Like if we did a foot race, like somebody being physically faster, that this is a vote. A vote is like your perception, like you have your own feelings towards this and you put your vote towards it. So the reason why I'm saying he has a bias is because he favors him, because he has to put his feelings into a vote, right?
No.
Does he not? Right. You don't put your feelings into a vote?
I don't think he's putting his feelings into this vote.
Do you put feelings into a vote?
Yeah, but not in a prejudice way.
Yeah. Depending on what the vote's for, yeah.
What?
I mean, maybe I'm getting cooked. I don't know, but
maybe I'm getting cooked. I thought the idea of prejudice was judging someone without having preconceived notions, and these voters are making votes and decisions off of conceived notions. Are they not?
No. I'm talking about the idea of prejudice. Even if you take the word prejudice out of it, take the word. It's not the only definition. Take the word prejudice out of it. You're in favor for. You can show an inclination for somebody or what. Like you favor this person. That's what bias is. You favor this person, category, thing. Just take prejudice out of it if that makes it better for you definition wise. When you vote for something, you put your feelings into it. In this sense right here, when you go vote for president, there's no like super measurable way to do this. You still put your feelings into a vote, right? You don't put your feelings into a vote.
For a president or for local government, yes, but local government, that's stuff that they can do for you. Government's something they can do for you, or there's something that you need to gain out of it. Voting for an MVP, you shouldn't put any feeling or emotion.
But people do.
Some people do, but I'm not about to say Bill Simmons is one of those people based off that tweet. I don't think that tweet is him showing that he's one of those people. So I don't think that's a case of him showing that.
Him not including what Jokic could do shows to me that you already favor Jokic. You already feel like he's in head, which is not crazy to say. I'm not saying it's something crazy to say. Like we're truly
no one is saying that the crazy thing is. I mean, yes, we all agree that he feels he's ahead, but I feel like the disagreement or the disconnect is we don't feel like that's him having a bias or showing favoritism towards Jokic. That's just if he has a vote and he thinks somebody's in the lead, the nigga's winning the race. He thinks the nigga's running the race.
I favor you in this vote. You are the favorite for me. That's favoritism.
It depends what we're defining bias as, because bias does have another definition right under it.
It's not bias.
That's literally talking about a distortion of a statistical result due to a factor not allowed for in its derivation. I don't fucking know. I dropped out. Or you even have cause to feel or show inclination or prejudice for or against someone or something. So it really depends what we're defining bias as. I personally think even if he has a biased vote in terms of he favors Jokic at this moment right now, is it a racial bias? I think it's pretty nasty. I will say that for sure. Two, I think he also implies that it's not a racial bias because he does state, even in the most literal sense, that if they were to do these objective things, which, to be honest, capable of doing, then he'd be like, all right, I'm going to them. And then on top of that, I think if we were to read in between the lines a little bit, I think he also believes in the negative, which is if Jokic starts putting up 10, 12 on 20%, he can no longer vote Jokic. So that's how I depict it.
That's the conversation. Is the bias racist? from some of these people, I can't say. I don't think so.
I just think right now, you can make a clear case, and I am a believer that Embiid is clearly third. So for Embiid to overtake the MVP race, for me, he would have to do some crazy shit, like average 38 or 40 in the next whatever. And for Giannis, those do seem like crazy numbers, but if you look at his averages over the last like 9 to 10 games,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Giannis can do him, and Giannis is pretty much doing them.
Yeah, Giannis is wilding right now. For y'all think that it's just a 2-man race, and hey, Luka, no, Giannis is the name y'all ain't talking about. That dude is wilding right now, yo.
I think this is the main thing that I was trying to get off, but the shit is completely subjective.
I mean, either way, I hope we all agree. Perk is just like, in terms of what you know that can do, it's pretty nasty. I think that's my final take on it. It's pretty nasty to go racial because you know the conversations that's going to cause, you know the lengths that people are going to go to, and to basically say that he has a racist MVP, that's nasty as hell. Like if it were roles reversed, you're going to tell me, not even roles reversed, you're going to tell me 20 years from now that, yeah, bro, Jokic's MVP in that season was 100% racially driven. Like, that's nasty. That's nasty to me.
They just need to let players vote for this. I don't know why. It'll solve everything. Have players vote for this shit.
I don't know about that. Players be tripping sometimes. But it'd be fun. I say that. The top 100 in the NFL is fun to counter me. So,
well, with that being said, do and this is more for the football crowd, do you feel like it's racist what's going on with Lamar Jackson and his treatment in the NFL?
The Steelers fan in me wants to smoke Pack, but reality, that probably is. I ain't gonna lie. That's walk like a duck, talk like a duck, and the NFL has been a duck for a long time. Any fucking way. So what are we talking about? That, yeah, I'll go there. I say that. That shit has got to be racist. If it ain't racist, it's quacking. That shit is wild.
If this was a couple years ago, I would be 10 toes saying it is. Now I feel like because of how many black or biracial quarterbacks are in the NFL, they're kind of having a more different approach to how they're dealing with black quarterbacks, and you can see that with Anthony Richardson in the draft now. Ain't nobody asking him to change positions. Niggas ain't asking him at the combine, do you want to be a receiver? Can you catch? They're not doing him how they did Lamar Jackson at the combine. So you can see there's clearly a shift. It might not be super major and crazy, but there is a shift in how they treat black quarterbacks. So I'm not going to scream racism. It is, I mean, Lamar ain't really, shown everything he's supposed to show from a guy getting that much money. Plus, he's coming off of an injury. So I understand why motherfuckers is hesitant and ain't just giving him the money. I'm not going to act oblivious to the context of why he's not being clearly given the money. But to act like motherfuckers like Josh Allen deserve money and not Lamar Jackson is crazy to me. It's crazy to act like Daniel Jones asking people for $45 million a year. Niggas is all okay. It's maybe somebody will pay him. No one is even scoffing at. Obviously, the real football niggas is like, yo, that's crazy.
Nah, that's a bad contract. Y'all gonna pay for that.
Everyone's like, it's a bad contract, but Daniel Jones feel comfortable doing that. And this nigga Lamar got to scrape and scrap for every penny, nickel, and dime after being an MVP. Yes, he got injured. So if you want to use the injury against him, cool. You have every right to do that. That's your football team. But it's the levels of fucked up shit that goes on in football. A lot of niggas don't talk about, and I'm glad niggas is getting behind this Lamar Jackson thing and seeing what as DeMarcus Cousins said. I hope y'all see what's going on because this shit is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, bro.
Nah, Omar, I'm gonna let you go, but I just want to say, bro, like I just lost my fucking track of thought. Go ahead, I'm gonna think of it.
I'm gonna just say I don't have much to say. I don't really keep up with this, so y'all got it on this one.
I remember.
I guess the only thing I could say here is, I mean, I would have to know why. I would have to know what team has the resources to go after him. From what I understand, because we had the conversation in space, and although maybe some Atlanta fan that's in me says that they should still go about it. As far as I understand, they're asking for a lot, right? Mm-hmm. They're asking for
at least at most 2 first-round picks if they don't match his contract.
Yeah, they're asking for a good bit. So I could see why somebody wouldn't want to jeopardize their future for a quarterback when they might feel like they've got a young guy, they've got their eyes on a younger guy that they can just do a little bit more with X, Y, and Z. Because I guess it would be like, I don't know. If there was a for the basketball dudes out there, if there was a point guard
It's
out
like if
there,
Steph Curry got fucking cooked.
yeah,
And
if
he was
Steph,
yeah.
I guess so. If Steph Curry got injured and I didn't want to say Steph because I know how niggas is gonna take it because they have their feelings towards Steph. If Steph Curry got injured, right, and then all of a sudden he became available, but the Warriors were like, well, you got 2 firsts, you got to give up 2 firsts to get Steph. Well, knowing in these next 2 drafts, like Victor's coming out, Scoot is coming out, Thompson, Brandon Miller, whoever is coming out, knowing that you have the possibility to get those people, at least what you perceive, would you be willing to give up 2 firsts for a 30-year-old Steph or whatever?
Yeah, and it get worse. It get worse if you make the situation, this is before Steph changed shooting. So if this is in 2014 and Steph got the ankle injuries, and unlike the NBA, it's the NFL. So you're franchise tagging Steph. That's really what the fuck going on. Because it's like this dude don't play like nobody out here. Lamar plays a special brand of quarterback. That's a fact. The only counter to it,
and if your team is bad too,
that part too. The only counter to it that I will understand if these owners came out and said that, I'd be like, okay, I can see why you don't think it. And it's somewhat got, but it's realistic. Is not the what a lot of people in chat are saying when in regards to running quarterbacks or whatever. It's that maybe niggas have looked up and said, quarterbacks ain't on a rookie deal, ain't worth it no more. That'd be the only one, unless that nigga name is bro in Kansas. That is the only one. Because when you really looking at this,
do you believe that?
Do I believe that? I believe that they could believe that. I don't believe that shit. Pay Josh Allen. What the fuck? But I think a lot of owners are starting to take that approach that if you just get a B+ ass quarterback with A+ defense, A+ receiving core, all that shit, we got a better shot than trying to out quarterback another great quarterback out here, bro. Because this shit they get nasty with it. I'm starting to notice people are getting stingier with who they like in terms of fans. Big owners are getting stingier with who they pay, and if they pay them, they all in, and they refuse to be wrong. For example, Daniel Jones getting paid. I think the entire Giants front office just refuses to admit that they were wrong, and they're like, "Fuck it, bro. We gonna pay this motherfucker like he him, bro." Ain't. I'm not even trying to slander him, but I think we all know he's not a 150 million guy. He's not gonna go nowhere. So it's interesting to me. That'd be the only team that I could believe. That'd be the only reason I could buy and say, okay, you're not being racist. You just are trying to win. But other than that, nah, I don't buy it.
I will say, honestly, I do feel you shouldn't pay I'm not gonna say undeserving, a quarterback that ain't like earned it.
Proven.
I'm not gonna say proven. Unproven. That's what I'm looking for. Don't pay unproven guys so much money. And I feel like whoever's getting paid the most sets the market, and they reset the market all the time. So Deshaun Watson getting his contract when he did, which I still feel he was a bit unproven. The talent was there. I think he was unproven. He's definitely unproven, but that set the market. And then you have Mahomes' contract, which he was proven, and that really reset the market and got guys like Daniel Jones thinking they can get $45 million a year, and he's not proven. Lamar Jackson, sadly, is not proven. So I can understand that. I understand the hesitation. He's not. Getting the MVP isn't proven to me. You gotta show me you got some type of game in the playoffs, at least for a quarterback in football. Navigate in the playoffs and show you can do something. Guys that have like Cam Newton was not proven. The nigga won that one MVP the same year he went to the Super Bowl. And let's be real, people, he ain't jump on the ball, bro. He's not that guy, pal. He's not that guy. So it's plenty of guys who are unproven, and teams get burnt and scoring for it, and they get it wrong. I get it. If you don't have a franchise quarterback, you want to pay the talented guy that you have. You want to pay your Josh Allen. You want to pay whatever guy that is. I get it. But if you seeing guys like Josh Allen are getting money, I don't see why you're not giving Lamar Jackson the money at that point. If I'm Lamar Jackson and I look around and I see a lot of unproven guys getting contracts, I would be livid if niggas is treating me like this personally. So I can't be mad at him for being upset. I can say for a nigga that's coming off an injury that ain't won in the playoffs, I can understand why these niggas just ain't like, yo, sir, here's the bag. You should have fucking won. Nigga, you was in the game when we came back and beat y'all. Don't act like I forgot. Like you got your flaws. I'm tired. Let's spit the real
I will admit, people acting like Lamar is golden.
Yeah,
I say it as a
people acting
Steelers
like
fan, and I
niggas
get called hate. Lamar this
It's not
season
golden.
and postseasons, yo, let's really talk. I'm over here saying the shit is probably racist, so I'm not going there. But yo, he has his moments where he fuck up now, and y'all don't like talking about him, bro. And that's no fandom in it. Bro, this season was not good in the fourth quarter. That's a fact.
Damo wouldn't mind if Miami paid him. So I don't.
Oh yeah,
nigga, I was saying all year. Bring him down to Miami. Don't get me wrong. I wholeheartedly believe if you put talent around a motherfucker, if you have an offense for a motherfucker, boom, you're good. Like he will flourish. He will make it work. Look at Brock Purdy. Nigga. You just give him weapons, and he's competent. Brock Purdy?
Yeah,
he's a pretty guy. You give him weapons, and as long as he's competent, he's gonna make it work. Look at Jay. Niggas said it themselves. Look at Jalen Hurts. That's what I'm
saying. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of chat saying points are weak, and then there's quarterbacks that counter improve exactly what we're talking about. Again, spam the link. Come up here and join, because Jalen Hurts is going against what a lot of y'all are saying. Where desperation. Some of y'all just chatting.
Let me say, because I was in the space and
Jalen Hurts earned his money. I'm sorry.
Jalen Hurts earned his fucking money.
That's a guy. We just watched a guy earn his contract. I do feel like they need to reset how they're paying these quarterbacks and how quarterbacks are getting paid. I think you might need, like, some of these niggas need to earn it. And some of these franchises got to take that step down and be like, you know what? Nigga, we haven't won nothing with you. I don't give a fuck how many 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 seasons you got.
There's a reason. And I went on this little rant in the spaces because of this exact thing. Once I heard from a reporter that the Falcons aren't going to even pursue Lamar. At some point, it becomes bigger than the product on the field. Niggas got to sell tickets. Niggas got to make money. Niggas got to sell merch. Niggas got to have a face. Niggas have to make money. So to me, going all in, especially if you're a nasty franchise, he's demanding more than $230 million fully guaranteed, which is unheard of except for Deshaun Watson, and he got it from the worst franchise. If you're a nasty franchise who doesn't want to end up and beyond mediocrity and beyond despair and beyond X, Y, and Z, you're looking at your horizons. You have nothing going on, especially in a weak division. You probably want to secure a guy who can at least get you some division titles, sell some tickets. It's for the culture, all that stuff, this, that, and the third. Speaking to Atlanta specifically, the reason why you drafted Trey, as far as I understand, the reason why you drafted Trey Young over Luka Doncic is because it was for the culture, right? the Kings didn't do it because they had De'Aaron Fox and Tufi. Okay, cool. The Suns didn't do it because they had Devin, cool, or whatever. The reason why the Hawks did what they did is because Trey Young is a good culture guy. And I'm not going to lie. Eastern Conference Finals recognize all that. He is. Soon as Trey Young came, every rapper, every black event, every club appearance, all the black Atlanteans came and wrapped their arms around him. You think they did that with Marcus Mariota last year? No.
Look, I hate to counter you, but if Lamar went to ATL, boy, y'all selling out everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. We'll do the exact same thing. That would revitalize professional football in Atlanta. And I don't doubt that they would also bring some people. You got to spend the money somewhere.
So you want to sign them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that, but I just don't understand why they're not pursuing. I just don't understand why they're not pursuing.
Because Anthony Richards is
y'all want to
right
draft.
there.
Y'all want to draft. That's all that is.
You're literally getting. You see that look he gave, and that comes from somebody who hasn't watched Anthony play. All I'm saying is,
I'm not saying that.
All I'm saying is, he changes his throwing motion. You're looking at just as much hype as Lamar Jackson in the NFL. All the stuff that you just said, you're gonna get with this kid. It's no reason to risk 2 first round draft picks when you can get the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
and y'all not
right
equipped
there.
for y'all not equipped for Lamar right now because if
Y'all
y'all got
not.
Lamar and y'all lost Ridley, people are forgetting about that. Y'all just lost Ridley. Y'all not gonna do nothing with him, and then y'all gonna win that.
It's
I ain't gonna
again. I think it's outside of, and again, I agree with you. I believe that winning should take precedent over everything. It doesn't. Not for everybody, not for every team. They understand that one team can win. And currently, if you're not as constructed, as good as the damn, they just won the Super Bowl. Fuck the Kansas City Chiefs, you're not gonna win. Like you're just not gonna win.
What is the point of signing Lamar Jackson? First of all, you giving up all the draft capital, you pay all that money to bring Lamar Jackson down there just to get hurt because you ain't got no team around him. That is insane.
It's the same reason why you sign or draft a undersized point guard. It's the same reason why you go all in on some of these guys in the East, like they've been doing to sell tickets. It's a business. It's still a business. I know niggas is talking about winning.
This is a lot different though. This
They say the Blazers operate that way in the NBA. That's why they're not moving on from Dame. They need to sell tickets. So Dame sells tickets.
It's teams do it. Teams do it.
Comparing this one football instant to a ton of basketball instances is not equating. This has legit consequences with putting a quarterback out there with no talent and no offensive line. You're risking his life. That's not
basketball. Basketball, the problem is, sorry to cut you off, but we agree, Damo. The problem is with basketball, you get that one name and the shit changes. Like Fire Nation attacks. Like you get Luka, bam, your team's way better. With football, you get Lamar, and you ain't ready to do nothing with that. You wasting his years, you wasting his life, and it's just ultimately you want to see the man get hit. You're selling
tickets.
You're gonna sell.
You're selling tickets because I argue we probably did the same thing with Michael Vick. Offensive talent was there.
I was a child.
Defensive talent non-existent.
I know they had a good team. They had a good team. I'm pretty sure they had like work done, Roddy White.
Offensive.
When he got there, what was it? And did he play his first year? Or did he sit? Did he sit his first year?
I think he played his first year. If I'm not mistaken.
What was the offensive line talent, and how often did he get sacked his first year? Is my question.
He's Michael Vick. Never. Not never, but yeah,
bro was behind.
Nigga put the greatest show.
Team was mid, defense probably bad now.
You know, he was doing his goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's about the show. It's about the show that was put on. You know what I'm saying? As he got sacked 21 times that year. Then the next year 33. Next year he only played 5 games, so it was 9. The next year 46. Now, mind you, these are the years where he's like
5 games, 9 sacks, still crazy.
5 games, 9 sacks. But these are the games where he's like now he's empowered. So then it was 33, then it was 45. So, but this is still not pocket Michael Vick, but 21 and 33 the first 2 years is kind of crazy. But again,
very crazy.
It's about you ask yourself, would you rather continue to spin the wheel, see what happens? What's it called? Maybe suck, take a risk on Anthony Richardson, have him develop under Marcus Mariota's gone, but in this system and maybe pan out? Or do you already in the blackest city in the United States, quote unquote? And this is just for Atlanta, but I think this applies to like Miami. I think this applies to a lot of places. In the blackest city, do you go out there, try to get this big name? He was a big name in high school. He was a big name in college, specifically for black folks, and bring him to this black Mecca and have him put on a show. We could go 8-8. Fuck it. The Falcons fans, you go 8-8, you beat the Saints twice. Falcons fans will love you forever.
I don't think that's always your standard, though. Matt Ryan changed that, and I didn't like Matt Ryan.
Sage, I'm telling you.
I'm not right now.
The standard is no. I'm telling you, the standard has always been you go 8-8. You beat the Saints 2 times.
I can believe
you are golden in the city.
I believe
you are golden in the city.
No one is arguing that point with you. I wholeheartedly believe, cultural wise, that'll go crazy for the city of Atlanta. I promise you that front office in Atlanta, the front office in the Falcons locker room, and that owner don't give a fuck about what you niggas think about culture in Atlanta.
Oh,
When it comes to risking 2 first-round picks and paying an historical amount of money
we know that.
for
We know
one
that.
quarterback,
We know that.
no talent around them, and we're talking about an NFL now where niggas are softer than they were when Michael Vick was playing. So them 33 sacks with no line on Lamar Jackson could mean he's out for another year. So I'm not.
I know.
Yeah, someone asked is 33 bad, nigga. 2
I know.
sacks a game is awful.
I know.
bad.
We know they don't care because a lot of folks feel like they haven't apologized to Michael Vick correctly. We understand that. We wholeheartedly understand that they don't care. This is the most we've ever talked about football. Whatever. We know that they don't understand. The problem is when you start to see a loss in ticket sales. When you play the Anthony Richardson card, he's not the draw. Whatever. You want the talk of the town to be football. Now in Atlanta, and mind you, we're in Georgia, so a football state. You're behind soccer. You're behind basketball. You're behind college football. You're behind college basketball. You're behind everybody.
Listen again, on paper,
Shiny new stadium.
It sounds great to get the hype going, but again, you're putting all those factors into the fact that you're not going to be able to put a team around Lamar Jackson that year. You're still going to lose money. Niggas are going to stop showing up to see Lamar get massacred. I'm sorry. Niggas rather watch that on Stream East. Okay. You think
I'll probably say, to be fair, Lamar I give him a lot of shit. Lamar is good enough. If you give him, especially, and this is just me nerding out talking about the team itself, you give him Cordero, Pitts, London, somebody else out the draft, they probably gonna be electrifying enough that people gonna show up every time. But he is gonna get hit a lot. And I think ultimately at some point people gonna rage. I don't think it'd be this season, but at some point they're gonna be like, all right, bro, I'm not seeing Lamar get hit again. I do think that happened. So maybe I'm in the middle.
I think you very much underestimate. One, we're in the South. I mean, niggas love football. Also, the division is bad, right? That's 2.
Yeah, awful.
Arguably the worst division in football. This is how much I know about football.
Okay.
What's it called? I understand what you are saying. The niggas that are talking about Stream East aren't even in this conversation. We're talking about the ones that buy seats down close to the field. We're talking about the ones that buy suites that are down on the field. We're talking about your main draw was supposed to be the Falcons. And now those games, not the seats up top, but the suites are starting to reflect in the pricing. But I can tell you what would happen. Ex-high school quarterback who holds a couple records in the state of Georgia, Quavo, will be back at them football games. 2 Chainz will be on the sidelines. Primetime will be back here. Whoever, all these black people that have money, that have other friends that have money, it will be back here. Kodak will be in Atlanta. Hey,
I ain't disagreeing with that part. Niggas would boost it. Hell, people still think Michael Vick is better than Russell Wilson today. So, yeah, I ain't gonna.
And this would be I'm doing right by Michael Vick gesture by getting another young black comparable quarterback in there. All that. Hey, man, I don't know. I want
to see what chat say about it though, because a couple people said that they just don't see where we're coming from. They directly disagree. I just need to see what they think then, because I don't want this to be perceived that we just spit nonsense. I thought I was aware of what I was talking about, but
let's